What's going on, guys? I'm Bergs, that's Longy, and this is NRL Last Minute Madness, round 22. What's happening, guys? Bergs and Longy here from the Casual Athlete, back again for another week of Last Minute Madness, where we go through the tips, the fantasy analysis, and some big predictions via the TBC Live app that you can download in the description below. And we're finally back in the studio this week after some sickness, bit of layoffs, some hard work as well on the side. You know, we got our own projects, guys. You know, we're trying to be as available as possible. What are you taking a...
It's a tough time of year, mate. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Look, I'm just getting myself ready for this Eels v Storm game. And
it's going to be tough after the Eels dominated last week, I thought.
Destroyed the Broncos, absolutely. And I think they continue the streak, playing at home. Obviously, no Jarome Hughes is a big one for the Storm. So I'll take the Parramatta upset, 5 points for that one. And for a fantasy prediction, I'm going to go Harry Grant, 70-plus fantasy points.
Yeah, I just think the Storm, even without Jarome Hughes, are going to have enough in the tank here. Parramatta, they got that win. You know, I thought that was a win that they were building towards for a number of weeks, and they deserved it. They definitely deserved that win last week, but they're coming up against a team that they haven't beaten since 2022. Been a little bit tough against the Storm. It's tough in terms of fixtures, but I think the Storm get a pretty easy win in this one. Wow. But mate, I've been liking the Eels recently, so it's nothing against them. I just think the Storm are a better team.
Well, you know, that's disgusting. That's not acceptable. Now we'll go to Friday and we'll hear your Warriors hate coming through next. Warriors v Dolphins. Are you hating again?
No, I like the Warriors in this one.
Wow.
A lot of
overcorrection.
People are actually going against the Warriors in this game. The Dolphins are the favourites in this one on TBC Live. I just think that the Dolphins, they're coming off the bye, but this Warriors team is limping, hasn't been really showing their full potential the last couple of weeks, and I think they have a bit of a bounce back in this game against a Dolphin side that's still missing a lot of guys. You know, and I think maybe people are overlooking that just a little bit. So up the wires in this one.
I've got the Finns. Cody Nikorima, that's a big one. If Nikorima wasn't playing, I might have gone the Warriors, but no Fisher Harris in this one. No Wade Egan. It's a big loss as well. And Nikorima unlocks Herbie Farnworth, who has just killed the Warriors every time he's played them for the Dolphins. So Finns for me, Herbie Farnworth, 80-plus fantasy points. Then we jump into the Broncos v Bunnies up next. And Broncos, massive favorites in spite of the fact that they were pounded by Parramatta, absolutely destroyed. But South Sydney,
they're terrible.
Jack Whiten's out for 4 weeks as well now.
Pretty undeserved, if you ask me as well. Was that a shoulder charge? I mean, is that what we're constituting as a shoulder charge these days? And for him to get 4 weeks for it.
All I'll say is if he was wearing a Penrith jersey,
barely a week.
Barely a week. Maybe a week if they were feeling generous.
The Penrith game is next, and I guess we'll talk about your hate for Penrith in that one as well.
Yep. Go to Titans.
Are you getting on the Bunnies, though? It is a juicy 5-point tip, and you do like some 5-point tips.
It's at Suncorp. The Broncos be fired up for it. They're embarrassed last week.
Last week was the Suncorp too.
Yeah, I think they get up. I think Broncos get the win.
I fully agree with you.
Payne Haas, 70-plus fantasy points. I think return to form. He was bad last week. Now, into Saturday, we got the Titans and the Panthers. This has been an interesting one. So, obviously, the Panthers have scraped by a few wins recently. You know, they've sort of slid in.
If you tip the Titans here, I'm going to walk out.
Titans last week came up against the Warriors side that were, you know, fit and firing, ready to go. And they got a big win up. Up against the legendary Tanner Boyd for the Warriors. You're dancing
around the question here. Are you going to tip the Titans?
I really don't want to tip the Panthers, and I think
you've done it once in 22 rounds. So.
Yeah, and they've hurt me. And I haven't forgiven them for being terrible for the Blues too. So I'm going to go the Titans to win this game. It's a 5-pointer.
I quit. I quit Last Minute Madness.
And I'll go Jaden Campbell.
I'm done.
Jaden Campbell to back it up, 65-plus fantasy points.
Dylan Edwards was on an absolute tear last week. I don't know how you can tip the Titans in a game that they are definitely going to lose. I don't care where the game's at. The Panthers, I think everyone is quietly scared that they are coming into this final season. Yeah, coming into the finals this year with a hell of a lot behind them. And I think the Titans are just in their way at this point in time. Dylan Edwards to get another 5 tackle breaks in this one. That's my big prediction. We'll move on to what used to be a pretty storied rivalry between the Dragons and the Raiders. However, the Raiders come into this one as the competition leaders and are still looking very good. I'm loving these second half blowouts. Like, they're seeming to make the game competitive at halftime. You know, it's very close. And then Canberra come out in the second half in most of these games, and they are just destroying teams in the last 20 minutes. What's your take on that? Like, are they just trying to play with their food before they eat it, or
Yeah.
like what's the go?
They've had a lot of easy matchups recently.
Definitely.
They before the Parramatta game, they had 3 games in a row within 6 points against like bottom 5 teams. So I just think they're not that convincing right now, and they're a gear above those teams, and they're beating them. But the way they're playing is not good enough for the finals. So at some point, they're going to have to switch back on. If they don't, they're going to get knocked out in straight sets, basically. Yeah. So I think we see a big game from this week. I think they fire up. I've got the Raiders winning this game, and I think Hudson Young goes 80 plus in fantasy.
Yeah, I've got him for a double as well. I love backing a Hudson Young double. I just think the Dragons a bit wounded as well. Win Stadium, but
what about Joey Tapine?
I don't think it's going to make a difference. I think that they're good enough around the forward pack that he doesn't need to be brilliant. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, they've got such good players in that forward pack that I think they're also getting some guys back. Matty Nicholson's due back in the next couple of weeks. Really good from what we saw from him earlier in the season. And I think they're only going to get better, the Raiders. But you're right. I am worried about the teams they are playing heading into September. Yep. It's not great preparation for the hard games that they're going to have to play in the finals. So, I mean, we'll see where they're at.
Look, they're a tough side. They'll get it going.
Yeah.
Now, Seagulls v Roosters here. Battle of the Birds. I would imagine a Seagull would beat a Chook pretty well, as I would imagine you would take on a Chook quite well.
Yeah,
too.
Like I mean, what's worse, like a chicken-sized horse or a horse-sized chicken?
I mean, Broncos are soft either way. So
a horse-sized chicken is terrifying. But anyway,
that's a T-Rex basically. Now in this matchup here. Look, Seagulls are outsiders here. You get 3 points for a Seagulls tip, 1.5 for a Roosters tip. Just based on that, I'm going to go Manly. And I'm not super pumped about it. I just don't think the Roosters are that convincing. So,
well, Manly aren't convincing either. So, like, it's two teams that are very unconvincing. I actually pegged this as one of the games of the round, purely based on the fact that both teams aren't in great form at the moment. And I think Manly, apart from their surprising win against the Storm a couple of weeks ago, were looking pretty dreadful with losses to the Titans and the Knights as well.
And the Eels just before that.
Oh, the Eels as well. And they've lost some weird games.
Yeah.
They've been so odd to tip this year, but I'm actually going to go the Roosters in this game. I just think that they're getting a few guys back as well, same type of thing. And I think the combination that they had last week worked really well in the halves in terms of scoring points. And Tedesco needs to find a bit more form as well, but he's been consistent all year, and I don't think I can take anything away from them. But yeah, I'm going to back the Roosters in this one. Tedesco to grab a try. He seems to not score tries this year or finish anything off, but I think he might grab one in this one.
I'll go Gus Crichton, 60 plus. Finally, a big breakout game. No Ola Kawatu in this one, so he's going to show his class.
Yeah, that's the other thing as well.
You talked about halves before. Obviously, it's next game. Tigers v Dogs.
Yeah.
Battle of the halves.
I love it.
You've got the big name in Jerome Luai and the big form in Lockie Galvin. Which one prevails in this game? I've seen some of the comments from your tipping video on Monday, so there's a bit of controversy around this game for you.
Yeah, I think the Tigers, right? Tigers are really good when they have a purpose to go out there and win.
Yep.
And I mean that in the sense that when Luai feels like he has something to prove or needs to feel like he needs to establish himself as an alpha, he goes out there and he actually does it. I found in the Penrith game earlier in the year, not the one that they just played, that Luai really stepped up.
And Penrith sort of ran a training drill.
No,
on the ground,
not last week. No, I'm talking about like earlier in the season.
Okay.
There's been words said, definitely, and I expect Galvin to be targeted very heavily in this game. But the one thing with the Tigers is they are a little volatile, and if they let that emotion overcome them and try to stick it to Galvin too much, I think they're going to let the game go by the wayside. I expect a sin bin to happen in this game at some point, just for the pure emotion of the game. And no doubt Benji will want to get a win as well because he feels like this kid has snuffed him. Let's be honest, Benji's not come out and said it, but it's got that feel about it. I think the Tigers can get this one done. To tell you the truth, I don't love the Dogs. Aside from their big blowout last week, the Dogs haven't been super convincing either. And I just think that they could let one slip here.
It's all fair. It's all fair. I still think the Dogs get it done. And I think Galvin shows out in this game. And I think it's going to be a brutal performance.
There's one bloke who knows them best. It's Galvin.
Yeah. No, I think Galvin absolutely kills them in this game. I think it's going to be a big day for him. My prediction here is not a fantasy one, but I really think he gets it over Luai in a big way in this game. And I think Luai doesn't play out the full 80 minutes. Yeah.
There's been some comments as well in the week as like Luai saying something along the lines of that all he did was try to make Galvin a better player, and that is just so condescending, isn't it?
Talking a lot right now, but I haven't seen because he was playing like a dog. When Galvin first left, he was playing great. And for fantasy, I was looking at him like, yeah, that's a guy I want. That's a guy I want.
It's the
And
proving
then-
a point thing that I was
then
telling you
he got
about.
put into Origin, and he proved the point that he should never be selected again.
Yeah.
Like, that's the point he proved there, right? And he's come back from Origin and not been that dog, right? So he's not switched on at all. Haven't seen it.
He
Up
needs to
against
make,
Penrith
but he
last
needs to
week.
make it personal. I think this
But
is
it
an
was personal
opportunity
last
where he
week
can
up
make it
against
personal.
Penrith, right? Like,
Not anymore. I think the first game is always the one where you want to make it personal and say to your club, like, this is the reason you shouldn't have let me go. I think when you come later into the season, Penrith are in red hot form as well. Like, it's tough. And coming into this game,
I just don't think he has it. Galvin last week pumped out 150 meters on the ground as well. It's not all about stats, right? But he was running the ball a ton. Like, he looks dangerous.
and you love that. Yeah.
You know, Carraz has been scoring tries. Carraz hasn't been scoring tries this year with Sexton, but Galvin's been
fullback
feeding
this
him.
week, Carraz.
Yeah. But he's been feeding his winger is what I'm getting at, right?
Yeah.
He's been finding a way to get Preston more involved recently as well. Like, he's got so many weapons to use. You know, you go Preston, Stephen Crichton, and Carraz. Carraz now at fullback, but what are they bringing in on the wing? It's Rinakama, but maybe on the left.
Jeffo Rinakama, left side.
Maybe Tuala to the right.
And
or
then
maybe
I'd say Tuala right side.
Either way, you've got Crichton there, right? And you've got Preston there. So you can feed those boys. The other two are solid supporting wingers. So like, I just think they're going to be too good and they're going to get the win here.
Look, yeah, each their own. But now we move on to the last game of the round, and my Cowboys are taking on the Sharks at Shark Park. Aside from the Cowboys being pathetic on the defensive end, there is another halves situation that we can talk about for this game. Clifford coming back into the team this week.
Yeah.
I am of the opinion that we've seen Clifford's ceiling, and I'm in the minority in terms of Cowboys fans in this argument. And seeing that he's being brought back into the team and that we've re-signed him for another year, I'm not excited about it. Like, we've seen about 8 or 9 seasons of Jake Clifford. We know what he's about. We know what he can do. He's having a career year this year, and the Cowboys are terrible. Like, we are so bad. And I just don't really see how keeping Jake Clifford over a guy like Tom Duffy and potentially giving the Broncos, our really storied rivals, the chance to do pretty much a reverse Dearden, which is take our young half and he could potentially be anything, learning under Adam Reynolds for a year. I just think it's really dumb in terms of the longevity of our club. And, it's really put some salt in my bad taste in my mouth this week.
Yeah, so
and I'm going to be
cornflakes or something.
and I'm going to be back in the Sharks to win by 20 plus.
Wow. Okay, so you've got a lot to cover there. I think Purdue is the long-term half, is the theory, right? It's the theory. The theory then would be that you're turning Dearden into a 7. The fact that he's been named at 7 this week.
He was good last week as well. Like, he was really good, but he's our only good player.
But he's only played that dominant 7 role once. So he had that one game where he did all the kicking. He's actually succeeded the kicking to Drinkwater in the last couple of weeks, I've noticed. So I don't know, like, Dearden's playing great footy. Like, it's hard to bet against Dearden. And Cronulla have been coming out, and Cronulla have been a bit soggy lately. And you've seen me giving crap to Jai about
that game was horrible.
Cronulla.
It's like the game on Saturday night, and it was a terrible game to watch.
And they take the game up to the Central Coast, a stadium on the water, and they played at night, so you can't see the water. I was upset about that, but don't get me started about that.
Such a picturesque stadium.
It's so beautiful. Yeah. But Cronulla have been unconvincing and dispassionate in the way they've played footy recently, and I've hated Cronulla this year. And
terrible. Yeah.
And you can back this up.
I
love Cronulla. Normally. I'm a big Andrew Fafita guy. I love their big forwards. I love their explosive outside backs.
There's a lot to get hyped about.
They're boring.
Yeah.
They're boring. I don't know what's going on. They're just so boring, and they just play so unconfidently. And Blake Brayley's been this ray of sunshine, but he's had to step into that because the rest of his spine has been so sheltered, like cowardly. Like, I don't know what's going on. And they're all so good at footy. Like, they're great players, but I can't even pretend to guess what the reason is.
There's I
don't like watching them anymore. Like,
there's times this year where you've thought, oh, maybe Will Kennedy's their best player, and you should never be thinking that. Like, Will Kennedy.
Nakora hasn't really looked great this year.
No, he hasn't.
He's not being fed any good ball.
No,
Iro's been good. Ramian hasn't looked good. Like, they're not unlocking it this year. So I'll take the Cowboys. I'll take Tom Dearden and just keep on schooling New South Wales over and over and over again, because he is just the best player in the comp right now. Like, as of the last month of footy, he is in such good form.
Yeah.
And I know I was talking smack about Queensland all Origin period, so I couldn't vocalize my love for Dearden.
Yeah.
But now I can say it. We're far away from Origin. He's done it at Clubland. You can say he's just one of the best players in the comp right now. Like, he's playing physical footy. I don't know who at Cronulla matches him for that physicality, especially on the edges. So
I've been having some arguments this week with people on Cowboys posts. in terms of the Clifford Duffy thing, but you can't take anything away from Tom Dearden this year.
Yeah.
He's been insane.
I would have said, I'll put my hand up and own up to this. I thought he was much more limited than he is, because he was. He was a limited playmaker for quite a while.
Yep.
And he's just taken it to a different gear. So full admiration from me.
Yeah, and you wonder whether the selection or the confidence that Billy Slater put into him for Origin has played into that as well.
Everything
and
does
kind of
works,
unlocked
man.
him. Yeah,
Everything
it's a joke.
He's running the ball like 200 meters a game. It's cooked.
Yeah, I can't imagine if he gets injured, what we would look like as a team.
Terrible.
Yeah, I agree with that. But anyway, guys, those are our tips this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know your tips, predictions on the TBC Live app. We will be on it all weekend long, joining in on all the banter. I'm Bergs. That's Longy, and we'll catch you next week.